Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second installment of our monthly growth webinar here at ByDesign, live with ByDesign. I'm so excited. We've got a very full house. Hey, Tracy, nice to see you. I'm recognizing some of the names here today, but some of them are also new, so I love that. Nice mix of existing clients and others out in the industry. We've got some partners on here. So I'm really excited. Today, we're going to be talking about reporting. So just letting everybody know that we are recording so that we will have that recording available for all attendees afterward. This is meant to be collaborative. So as I go through, be sure to ask any questions along the way. There is a chat functionality, so you can type your questions in there if you'd like, or there will be moments throughout the presentation where I pause and ask for questions as well. So do whatever you're comfortable with. Ask live, ask in the chat. Either way, we want to make sure we get you the answers that you want. But with that, I will go ahead and start sharing here. All right, perfect. So now everybody should be able to see my screen. And we can go ahead and kick it off. As I said, this month we are talking about reporting. Reporting is something that's near and dear to my heart. And we're going to cover some of the options that you have available, both for the corporate reporting needs and for the field out there representing your business. So without further ado, I will dive in. Just to let you know, kind of the topics that we're going to cover today, there's three main paths for reporting. There's going to be standard options, which are out of the box, free, configurable, available to all of our clients. There's a tool called the Comp Report Builder that is also free and available to our clients, but it is something that needs to be activated. So if you're not using this, this is going to be very interesting for you. For those of you who are not on our platform, know that this is an option to all of our clients. And then the final one that I will cover are the Freedom Data Warehouse, which is more of a self-service query type of interface for you. But we're going to start out with those standard reports. So these are the reports that are out of the box, available by default. And the majority of our default reporting here at ByDesign is going to revolve around our commissions and genealogy engine. That is really the core of what we do and what drives our business and our offering. So it makes sense that the default reporting is really going to be around the volume and commissions by default. So some of the examples that you see here are our commissions reporting and volume totals. These are available in Revolution for representatives to view. I do want to point out that these are out of the box, but they are also configurable. You have the option within your Freedom settings to dictate which volumes are represented. So you can see in the screenshot where I see the volume totals, it has personal, BV, GV. I can view it by leg and by volume. The configuration options are going to let you decide what are the most important volumes for your field to see. If it's not BV and GV, maybe it's PV or qualifying commission, retail sales, downline volume, group volume. There are all these different volumes that are stored within our engine. And so you can choose which one of those you want your reps to see on a regular basis. And that will configure what is being displayed here in the default volume reporting. Okay, so even these default reports can be configured by you within your Freedom back office. Another area that I like to talk about is what we call our summary pages. And those are the visual graphs that you can see on the left side of the screen here. These are located on the summary pages throughout Revolution. So the orders, summary page, the commissions summary page, and the organization summary page. But what you may not know is these are configurable as well. So within your Freedom back office at the corporate level, you can determine which graphs you want to show. You can add, take them away, and edit them. So you can choose if you want to really focus in on personal reporting or team reporting or a combination of the two. So if you're not familiar with the configurability there, reach out to us. But these are all self-service. This is where I like to stop and point out to those that may not have been on last month's call. In the lower left-hand corner, you're going to see an icon that indicates whether the topic that I'm talking about is self-service, meaning that you have the flexibility to configure it on your own in the Freedom back office, or if it requires ByDesign support and collaboration. So that lower left-hand indicator is going to let you know which is true. And as you can see for the default reporting, the configurability here is really going to be in your hands. It is self-service. In addition to the default reports that you're going to see out of the box, sorry, I'm just trying to get rid of my toolbar there. Another one that I like to really focus on is Customer Manager. Customer Manager is another one of those default reporting tools. It's located in the organization area of Revolution. But the reason that I like to talk about it separately is that there are about 30 different configurations that you can control within your Customer Manager tool. So the reporting is going to have some default settings, but you can choose which columns you want to add or take away. You can also choose what is available in the advanced filtering, and you can determine how far, how much information each person can see when they're viewing their Customer Manager. So for example, on the screenshot here that shows my retail customers, you'll notice over to the right-hand side, there are columns to create a new order or to create an order draft. These are both optional for you. If you don't want your reps to create orders on behalf of their customers, you can turn that column off. If you only want them to have the order draft instead of the new order, you can do that as well. The main reason that I find clients turning these on or off is really about the security of the payment methods. When you have the new order column on, it's going to allow a rep to go into the shopping cart as their customer and place an order. Now, if you're not using our cart, if you've got a third-party cart integration, or if you're leveraging Shopify, that would be one of the reasons to turn off this column, because this column is going to take them to the ByDesign cart. And if you're not using that ByDesign cart, obviously you don't want to have this access available for your reps. Same thing with the order draft. The order draft builds out an order and allows the rep to email that order to the customer so that they can then complete it on their own in our checkout. So if you're not using our checkout, that would be another reason to turn that off. But if you are using our checkout and you want to allow your reps to create those orders so that all your customers have to do is just click to pay, the order draft is a great feature that can be added to your Customer Manager report. Outside of those two key columns, you're going to be able to choose how much of the contact information you want available, and again, what's included in that advanced filtering. So if you haven't looked at these options lately, be sure to check them out. These are a mix of client controlled and support controlled. So you're going to be able to see about a third of them by default in your Freedom settings. The other ones will be controlled by us. So you'll need to reach out to support for more information on that. Another favorite of mine are dashboard widgets. So I like to talk about dashboard widgets separate from reporting because a lot of times your field will see them separately. When I put myself in the shoes of a rep, I see a dashboard widget as more of a easy access, quick snapshot of something that's going on in my business. versus the full reports is where I can go to really dig into the data, look throughout my downline, dig into the KPIs, and really understand in more detail what's going on in my organization and my business as a whole. But when it comes to the dashboard widgets, these are the quick and easy snapshot reports about what is most important to your field. I always say that if there's a specific KPI that you want your reps to be focusing on daily, you need to have a dashboard widget about it, because that's what's going to put it right in front of their face and really make sure that they have eyes on that KPI every single day and for regular reporting. There are about 20 different templates that you can use to add reports to your dashboard. So some of my favorites that I like to point out, there are volume widgets. So you can see here the most popular is the last 3 months, which is literally just going to show me as a rep what have my personal and group volume been for the last 3 periods. This is, again, very configurable. You can choose which volumes are most important. You can also choose to show only the last 2 periods or only the current period if you don't want to have the full 3 months. So even within each one of these widgets, you're going to have configurability options available to you. In addition to the standard kind of grid display that shows my last 3 months volume, you'll see that there's another option where I've used a graph to represent that volume. So the qualification volume by month over the last 6 months is going to be able to show me my trend. Am I growing? Am I declining? What's happening with my team volume versus my personal volume? Oftentimes, having a visual representation, even if you already have the table displayed, can help your reps to really understand what's going on with their business in a different way. So that qualification volume is a great example of the compensation graphs which are available. You can use bar graphs, pie graphs, funnel reporting, all sorts of different options within that comp graph option within the dashboard widget. I always say, go into a sandbox site, go into a lower environment. If you don't have a lower environment available, we can give you access while you're exploring this. But just play with some of these reports, see what's possible, throw some different ones together and see what really speaks to your business and to your field. I think you'll find that there's a lot of opportunities to display information that you may not have been aware of simply by using some of these less used widget templates. I personally love the personally sponsored one. As a leader, this is going to help me to see everybody I've brought into my business and quickly see whether what their current rank is, whether they're participating in auto ship, and whether they are active. At a corporate level, you can define what active means. Is there a minimum PV requirement? Is there no requirement beyond having that annual renewal signed up and paid for? You can dictate what that last active column actually measures against when you're setting up the widget. But once you've done that, it makes it easy for a leader to really understand what's going on with the people that he or she has brought into this business. And then finally, I think I already saw it in the chat. The rank progress is one of our most commonly used widgets. You can see it there with kind of that progress wheel with the 61%. But this is going to allow you to display progress in the comp plan every single period. So whether you have monthly payouts or weekly payouts, it can be configured to track the progress within that period. If I were to click on the green button that says view rank requirements, it's going to literally tell me of the 5 requirements, which 3 have I met and which 2 are still outstanding. So as a personal rep, it's going to help me to see not just how close I am to the next rank, but specifically what am I missing. As a leader, I can view this rank progress widget for anybody on my downline as well. So if I have a coaching call coming up with Dan, I can look at the rank progress widget and see, okay, how close to the new rank is Dan? What specifically is he missing, and how can I help coach him toward achieving that rank? So it's a really great coaching tool, as well as just a constant reminder every time I log into my back office. Having that rank progress right there above the scroll line is going to remind me every single day how close I am to that next rank. So if you haven't taken a look at the different dashboard widgets available, it's well worth spending, an hour of your time just looking through the different templates there. See what's available, play with some of them. I think you'll find that there's a nice variety of what you can add to the home page of Revolution to really empower your reps to know what's going on with their business at a glance. Another favorite tool of mine, I say they're my favorite. I promise they're not all my favorites, but there's a reason I'm including them here. Contact groups. Contact groups is one of the most underutilized reporting tools available within our system. And it is free. It's available and configurable self-service. So you can set these up yourself, or you can reach out for assistance from our support team. But essentially, the contact groups is going to empower you at the corporate level to define criteria or filters that put together warm target groups for your reps to reach out to. So for example, when it comes to customers, at the corporate level, you can determine who are the best customers that our reps should be reaching out to. Maybe it's based on order recency. Anybody with a consumable product, you can set up groups saying they haven't ordered within the last 30 days or 60 days. Those are prime candidates that should be ready to reorder that consumable product. You can also use product relationships. So if a customer ordered product A, chances are they're going to be interested in product B. So you can create a customer group to help your reps save time by saying, here's everybody who's interested in a specific product category. For those of you that have party plan or hosted events, you can use that to separate out customer groups. The idea here is that you're saving time so that your reps don't have to go through their full customer listing and determine who they should be reaching out to. It's also going to help their marketing efforts be more fruitful. Instead of blanket marketing to everybody in my customer list, I can target the marketing with what I know is going to be important to the core group that I'm reaching out to. Okay, so that's the customer groups. You can see some examples there. Customers who have not purchased shoes in the last 90 days, customers who have or haven't hosted a party, have they purchased supplements? One of my favorite customer groups is customers who have created an account but never placed an order. That's a fantastic group of people for your reps to reach out to with an offer to help them find what they might have been looking for. Okay, I have seen a lot of our clients leverage these customer groups along with promo code functionality. Maybe you want to allow your reps to offer promo codes to those that have never placed an order and get 10% off of your first order. That's something that you can do using the combination of these contact groups along with our promo code functionality. Again, the key here is the corporate level. You're going to control in your Freedom back office what the defined groups are, so that when a rep views it in Revolution, they're just going to see who in my personal customer list falls into that group. The same is possible for reps. So you can determine who should your leaders be working with. You can set up groups for anybody that is close to achieving a new rank, or those that have recruited more than 2 people in the last 30 days. There are so many different options for what you can set up here. The important thing is at the corporate level, you define the strategy. Who do we want them to spend their time with? Where should they be spending the time that they have working their business? You set up the groups, and then all the leader has to do is go in and say, okay, what am I going to say to my leaders today? What am I going to say to my reps who have not placed an order yet this month, or my reps who have no customer orders for the month? What about my downline reps who are or aren't participating in auto ship? These are all great examples of the groups that you can define at the corporate level. And by doing so, you're saving your reps time by not having to go through and pick up these individual groups themselves. And you're making their marketing and communication more effective by letting them target the individual groups instead of sending those blanket mass messages. So if you're not leveraging contact groups, definitely check it out. It's free out of the box. You can configure it yourself, and it really can be a great way to empower your reps and your leaders in particular to make the most of their time. Hand in hand with those contact groups is bonus-based alerts. Bonus-based alerts may not seem like a reporting tool, but really it's data-driven alerts. So it is all about reporting what's going on in the business. The bonus-based alerts tie directly to your compensation plan, so you can leverage up to 4 agents on every alert. And this is going to be great because while all the other reporting tools require that the rep actually log in and view the information, our alerts go out and grab their attention. So when you set up these alerts, you're not waiting on them to log into their back office to see this information. Instead, you're meeting them where they're at, whether it be email, text, or leveraging a partnership with a Ziplingo or another third party. You can actually send these alerts through Facebook Messenger, through WeChat, through any of the major communication platforms that your reps are already using. You can set up these data-driven alerts to basically go out and grab their attention to say, hey, Dan, did you know that you are only 100 points away from having the requirements for your next rank? Or, hey, Dan, did you know your downline rep just achieved a new rank for the first time? Make sure you reach out and recognize that. You can let them know when they're close to achieving something, or if they're at risk of losing out on active status. Maybe they haven't had an order in the last 6 months, and so they're getting ready to lose access to their back office. You can set up an alert based on that. The idea here is that you want to set up a strategy using all of the data that's available to you so that you can make sure you're connecting and capturing the attention of your reps at key points of opportunity. Through doing this, you're going to see an increase in engagement, an increase in sales and recruiting activity. All because you're just making them aware of the proximity. So a lot of our clients call this proximity reporting. I say it's proximity reporting, but it's more than that because you're not waiting on them to see it. You're literally pushing it out to them, grabbing their attention and pulling them back into their business. So again, bonus-based alerts, they are configurable within your Freedom back office, very self-service, but we also have a great support team that can collaborate with you. I also am very passionate about these alerts. So if you want to schedule time with me, I can help you with the strategy of how these alerts can really make a difference for you in your business. All right, I'm going to pause for just a moment to see if there's any questions before we move on to the comp report builder. Check the chat here. It looks like Dan's already doing a great job of answering some of these out there. Let's see. Looks like Dan's already answered Heather's question, so we're good there. Where do we add the widgets? Perfect. Dan has answered that one as well. Limitations on the alerts. Great question, Tony. And really, the short answer is that it's up to you. For every single one of those alerts that you set up, there's going to be an option to say, how frequently do you want your reps to receive this? If it is a what I call a cha-ching order, that basic or a cha-ching alert that just notifies them when they've got a commission or an order, you can choose to send those out with every order. You can send them out daily. Any of these bonus-based alerts, you can set up to send out every day. You can send them weekly, you can send them monthly, or you can only send them one time. So that's one of the configuration options on all of these alerts is A, what data do you want to use to trigger the alert? And B, how frequently do you want them to see this information? So for example, if you have one that says that you're close to achieving the next rank, you can choose to send it once per pay period. So once they're close to star leader, you notify them once and that's it. You can give them a daily reminder of being close to star leader or a weekly reminder. My recommendations are if you have a monthly period, I like weekly reminders. If you have a weekly payout period, I like the daily reminders. But again, it's up to you and it's all configurable. So it's really, you are empowered to dictate what that journey looks like and how frequently you're touching them with those alerts. All right, looks like those are all of the questions on this one, but let's move on to Comp Report Builder. So the Comp Report Builder is a tool that is available within our Freedom platform, and it's a tool that you would use within the Freedom back office. Comp Report Builder, that's short for compensation. And the reason it's called that is because this is going to leverage all of your compensation plan data agents. So anything that is currently leveraged by the comp plan is going to be available by default in your Comp Report Builder. But it's not just your bonus data. There are so many different agents available to you. There is a setting that is required to activate it. So you'll need to reach out to support to activate it. They'll also provide a little bit of training on how to leverage it. But beyond that, once you've got access to it, it is completely self-service at that point. A little note that I like to add in here is if you are trying to report on something that is not currently available in the compensation report builder, we can actually add new KPIs here. So this will be a great option for those that want to build a lot of custom reports and maybe report on KPIs that aren't necessarily used in the comp plan. We can typically add new KPIs with 1 to 2 hours of development versus if you ask us to build out a whole custom report, you're typically looking at more like 10 to 20 hours. So we're saving you time, saving you money by empowering you to build these yourselves. And if you ever want to report on something that's not there by default, all you need to do is request it and we can get it added for you. So let's talk more about what's available. The sky is the limit when it comes to the Comp Report Builder. The data that you have available, you can actually set up a report that uses multiple agents for single report or single month reporting. So for the current month, how am I tracking in these 5 or 6 KPIs? You can also say multiple months for a single agent. How has my personal volume grown over the last few months? How has my group volume grown? How about my recruiting? You may have a set of 3 really important KPIs that you want to track last month to this month. You can also show growth month over month. So by leveraging a single data point with multiple dates, that's a very different type of report than using a single month with multiple agents. You can also get into multiple months with multiple agents. So you can see here how you start expanding the possibilities of what you can build here with the Comp Report Builder. Now that we've talked about the data side, what can you actually do with the data? Anything you build out using the comp report builder can be leveraged in the Freedom back office. So this means you can build out reporting for your corporate team. Biggest use case here is recognition. A lot of recognition tools are built out using the comp report builder. You can also track incentive progress using this. Any of your growth metrics or KPIs. If you have what we call field development leaders or people that are assigned to coach your field, building them a tool in the Freedom back office is really easy using the comp report builder. In addition to the corporate back office, you can also publish your reports built in Comp Report to Revolution. So you can do full reports for myself and for my downline, so that as a user in Revolution, I can see those. You can see a great example there on the trip for two eligibility. That's a great example of a report that was built out using the Comp Report Builder. But in addition to the full reports, you can also make dashboard widgets using the comp report. The dashboard widgets that I talked about earlier that are managed from the dashboard manager, one of those templates that you're going to see is called compensation report. When you choose that template, it's going to automatically show you any of the reports that you've built in the comp report builder. So first, you build the report in the comp report builder, then you go to the dashboard manager and choose the widget to display that information. So a great example of that is in the second screenshot you see here, that elite report with the business tiles, that is leveraging the comp report builder. So when you build out these reports and you want to make a widget, you can either use the business tile format or a traditional column header table type of view. But the important thing to know here is that the comp report builder allows you to really build out specific KPI reporting and display it throughout Revolution on the contact cards as a widget or as a full report. So let's talk some specific example about this comp report builder. Bonus data, that's the number one use case for the comp report builder. When I say bonus data, I mean a couple of things. First and foremost, any of the agents that are used in your compensation plan, all of your volume agents, all of your recruiting agents, active qualifications. If you have any concept of rolling volume, a rolling 3-month volume, rolling 6-month volume, rank maintenance qualifications, all of those agents that are leveraged with your comp plan are going to be exposed in the comp report builder, meaning you can build a report using any of those agents. But in addition to those agents, you can also leverage bonus data retroactively. So you can literally build out a report to show them what they earned in previous months or previous periods, what they're currently earning in this period. You can show them what payout methods were leveraged over time. The bonus data is not just limited to the qualifying agents, it's also going to include all of the payout data as well. Now, hand in hand with the bonus information is something called real-time volume. And this can be especially useful for the real-time reporting of volume to your field. This is going to come into play when, especially at the end of a period, month end, last day of the month, your bonus is only going to update hourly or 2 or 3 times a day, whatever that cadence is for you. So in between those times, if a rep wants to know what their volume impact is for the orders that they're putting in, you can create a real-time volume report. Now, this is going to mean that real-time volume reported may not always match qualifying volume. And that's simply because real-time volume is real time. Anything I submit order-wise is automatically going to be reflected there, versus my qualifying volume is only going to update when my comp plan bonus procedure runs through the background. So as long as you make sure your field understands the difference, there can be a lot of power in helping them to see their real-time volume versus only giving them the bonus data. So that real-time value, that real-time volume can really be a great tool for you to help your field to know the impact of their order activity in real time. You're also going to have data available for genealogy. So I can pull in sponsor information, downline information, upline leader information. If you have a concept of upline managers, where as a rep, if I'm a manager but my sponsor is a lower rank, I can actually see who is my upline at the same rank or higher. That can be really great for coaching opportunities or generational bonus reporting. So there may be some different opportunities or options that you want to leverage within the genealogy. There's auto ship periods that you can use here. Not just are they or aren't they participating in auto ship, but when's the next auto ship going to run? And then finally, one thing that I always like to point out, because it can be very powerful, even if it's not leveraged a lot, is math operators. This means that I can create a growth report where I'm looking at current month volume compared to last month volume and whether I'm growing or not. This can be used for any of your volume agents, your recruiting counts. How many have I recorded? How many have I recruited this month versus last month, this year versus last year? There's all these different type of growth indicators that you can make using the comp report. So as long as the data exists and can be put into columns, you can use a math operator to say column 1 minus column 3 or divided by column 3. Do I want to display it as a percentage, as a currency, as a straight number? These are all options that are available to you. And now you're starting to see what's really possible and how this is such a powerful tool. You can really define, what do I want my field looking at? What do I want them focused on KPI wise? In addition to the data options that you have available, there are some configuration options as well. So you can choose how you want them to view the report. Do you only want them to view it for themselves? Do you only want them to see they're personally sponsored? Do you want to show the entire team? Do you want to go 3 levels deep, 5 levels deep? Do you only want to show those at a certain rank? These are all views that you can create using the configuration tool within the comp report builder. So on the top screenshot there, you can see here is where I'm setting up those different views of self, personally sponsored, or entire team. And then in the Revolution screenshot below, the view where it says self, that's a drop down that's going to let me choose between any of those views that I have set up. I also have the option, do I want them to look at previous periods or do I want to lock it down to only the current? A really great tool that a lot of people don't know about is we have the ability to allow a rep to view these reports as another rep. And this is going to be done using the search options. So if you look in the top screenshot where it says show bonus runs, show last X bonus runs, there's one there that says search options. And currently I have it set to view under a downline reps context. What this means is the search box in Revolution where I can enter a rep's name. The control in Freedom for that search option is going to tell the user, when I search for Dan Lang, am I simply going to get Dan returned as one of the fields down below? Or do I want to view the report as Dan Lang? If I want to view the report as Dan Lang, that's going to be the view under a downline reps context. Very powerful for leaders. If I have a coaching call coming up with Dan, it's very beneficial for me to be able to view this report in the same way that Dan is viewing it, so that we can talk about the KPIs together, talk about the particular people within his team who are the opportunities that he should be spending time with. Okay, so if you're not leveraging this, just know this is one of the many options that's available through the Comp Report Builder. Finally, you also have the option to leverage conditions. So the conditions are basically going to say, what conditions does a rep have to meet in order to be included in this report? This is going to really come into play for any clients that are leveraging rep types. So for example, if you have an affiliate rep type or a team building rep type, you can make reports that only return affiliates or only return team builders. You can also say, I only want to return reps at a certain rank or above, or only reps that are active, only reps that are canceled. These are really great options for creating reporting for specific use cases. If you advise your field to reach out to canceled reps once a month, build a report that helps them do that so that they save time and they know exactly who they need to connect with. Okay, so the conditions are going to help filter the results before the report is even displayed to the reps within Revolution. All right, this is going to be another pause moment. I thought there might be a lot of questions about this one. So let's see here. Let's go down to the questions here, see if Dan has already answered all of them. Let's see. Activating the Comp Report Builder, that's something that you're going to want to reach out to the support team. It is a very easy and quick thing. Literally, all they have to do is check a box to make it available to you. You can then choose to either self-service and learn on your own, or they can go on with training for you if you want them to train you on how to use it. But once they make it active, it will appear in your bonus area of freedom. Great question, Tony. Many of the out-of-the-box reports are a bit redundant. Any way to delete or hide them? Yes, those can all be hide or shown. In Revolution, they can, but not in the Freedom back office. That's an interesting question. As of right now, the Freedom reports available to the corporate users can't be hidden or shown, although I do like that suggestion, and I'll take it back to the team. But you should know that anything in Revolution can be hidden. If you see a default report that doesn't make sense, chances are we can update it, or you can replace it with a comp report. Or if you want to just turn off the menu item there, you can do that as well. Contact groups, Dan's already handling that one. Great. Those are great. Donna, I know that you're looking for that one. If you're not able to find it by the next time we have our growth call, I can definitely help you out with that as well. But for anybody else on the call or anybody listening to the replay, if you are interested in the Comp Report Builder, and you should be, trust me, it's a fabulous tool. Reach out to the support team. They can turn on access for you. If you're not seeing it, chances are you don't have access to it. But after they turn it on, it is self-service. We can help you to leverage it from there. All right. Now I'm going to move on to the final area of reporting that I wanted to cover, which is the Freedom Data Warehouse. So if you think about the default reporting that I showed at first, those are really out of the box, kind of turned on by default and available to all of our clients. The Comp Report Builder is a more customizable option. It's a free tool that's available to you using the interface within Freedom to build out reports. The Freedom Data Warehouse is going to be a highly customizable option that doesn't necessarily leverage an interface within Freedom. So it's kind of the third step and the most custom step that's available for you. The Freedom Data Warehouse is simply a replication of your database. We replicate your database and make it available to you. By default, it's going to include about 70 tables from your database. We can add additional tables if needed, but we try to include the most commonly accessed tables by default. So when you add Freedom Data Warehouse as an add-on to your Freedom Access, we will duplicate that database, and then it remains there, and it is updated about every 15 minutes or so. So it is not necessarily a real time, but it is regularly updated. So within about 15 minutes, you have access to any of the information. And the beauty here is that you can either use the Freedom interface, which is what you're seeing on the screen here, to build out a query, or you can access it directly using Power BI, SQL Management Studio, whatever your favorite query engine is. You can plug that directly into the Freedom Data Warehouse in order to write queries and extract data as you see fit. So if you have the resources on your team that have knowledge on how to write queries or how to leverage a database, this can be a great resource for you because it removes any of the limitations that might be around the comp report builder. So the key difference is comp report builder is limited to the data that is available there. The Freedom Data Warehouse is really open-ended. You decide what you want to query, how you want to query it, or what you want to do with the information after you've built it. The FDW, you can absolutely publish those results to Freedom, to Revolution, or to any external site. It's literally no different than querying a database that you may already have access to. It's just exposing the data from our side to allow you to leverage it. Now, this does require support. It does require actual development effort as well, because we do need to duplicate that database, whitelist your IP if you're going to be accessing it using one of those third-party engines. But for those of you who have the resources and the knowledge, it can be a very powerful tool. So here's some examples of what can be done with the FDW. You can see here that you can look at order information, specifically auto ship information. You can really leverage so much more data than you do with the comp report builder. Although this is where it is a little bit more of a learning curve. You're not going to be able to come in and just build things very quickly like you can with Comp Report Builder. So the SQL access is there, as well as the interface that I said. The FDW is also a really great option for third-party integrations. So if you have a third party, maybe it's a mobile app provider, a communications provider, a 3PL logistics, whatever that third party might do, in addition to APIs, you may also want to expose your FDW to them. This is going to allow them to access a lot more data than they would normally just get through our APIs or our webhooks. So if you're looking to integrate with third parties, or maybe you already are integrated with a third party, but you want to leverage more of the bells and whistles or those tools that they have, the FDW might be a good solution for you there. All right, so that's the end of the information I had to share with you. I'm going to go back to kind of the first page here, just because I think it really does kind of summarize the three different paths that you have for reporting: the standard options, the comp report builder, and the FDW. So now going to go back over to the chat here, see if there are any questions. I will also open up the call. If you have a question that you want to ask in real time, unmute yourself. I'd love to provide answers in real time if anybody has any of them.
Hey, Cassie, I have a question.
Yes.
So I've been with you guys for a long time. And when I come on these calls, I'm like, oh my God, there's so much I still don't know. And how do I get to know that. I'm wearing a lot of hats. So is there somewhere that you can refer me to, or is there someone, really what I would need is like someone to just kind of help go through my particular website and what it is that I'm not using, what I can turn on, what is at my disposal. I'm sure I am not using 3/4 of whatever you're showing. Honestly. So, but I'm sure I'm paying for it, but I'm not getting it. So how do I go about doing that? And I know that you and I have calls, but not that often. So what would you recommend, Cassie?
Yeah, and great question. And there's kind of two answers here. At any time, you can always reach out to support. We do have a configuration specialist that can walk through that with you, or you can set up additional time with me for that as well. I like to use my regular growth calls with clients to kind of let you know the latest and greatest of what we've added. But there are oftentimes some of these existing tools that we never talk about because they're not new, so they don't kind of hit my radar. But that said, my email signature includes a link where you can schedule time with me. As existing clients, anybody can schedule time with me, and we can spend an hour literally evaluating what are you using, what are you not using, how could we maximize the impact of your tools. Even outside of any regular calls we might have going on, you can always book additional time with me for that. Now, that said, after we have those conversations, I may connect you with somebody from the support team to help you execute on all of it. But if you want to start at a strategic level, I'm definitely available for that. And that's something that anybody can set up time with me to do that outside of any regular calls that I might already have with you.
Okay, I'm definitely going to do that. I'm doing it right now.
Awesome. Sounds great. Looking forward to it. It looks like I'm getting some questions about some pricing. And really, I can't give you a straight answer on that because it does depend on the size of your database. Because really the Freedom Data Warehouse is a duplication of your data. And so we do the sizing based on the size of your database. Typically, it's going to start with a minimum amount of about $1,000 a month. But it could be more or less depending on how many reps you have in the system, how many orders you have in the system, how much historical data you want to be able to access. So if you have any questions about how to set that up or what that pricing might be, again, reach out to me. You can just email me. You can add it to our next scheduled call, or you can schedule a call using my Calendly option in my email footer. You can also reach out to support. If you prefer to go that route, they will basically get you in touch with me so that we can have that conversation as well. For those of you who aren't yet clients, your salesperson, whether that be Dan or Jerry, any of them can also answer pricing on this for you. So if you're interested in having that a part of your package when you come on board, let them know and they will be happy to answer that for you. But for any of the existing clients on board, reach out to me because I want to have the conversation and really help you understand how FDW can fit into your business as an add-on solution. All right. It looks like I have, I believe I've answered all of the questions. FDW versus transactional database. Great question, Taylor. It's going to depend on a few things. Traditionally, order information is reflected real time when it comes to volume reporting. So the standard default reports that a rep can see for volume or in the Freedom back office, if you're just looking at volume, it's going to reflect real time. If you're looking at compensation impacts, so rank qualifications or active status, that's going to be updated every time your bonus proc runs in the background. That bonus proc is something that may run daily, may run hourly, or anything in between. So for that question specifically, we would need to look at your configuration. When it comes to FDW, that is going to be updated based on your production data at 15-minute intervals. So even the volume reporting that is reflected real time in our system is going to be on about a 15-minute delay because the FDW updates itself every 15 minutes from the production data. So if you're looking to show real-time reporting, chances are you're going to want to use a combination of the default or comp reports that you can build yourself using that real-time volume, versus if you want to display bonus volume that is qualified and already counting toward their rank, that's where you're going to have that delay. Hope I didn't confuse that more as I was answering that question for you. But if I did, feel free to reach out and I can clarify further. All right. So we are at the end of our time. I want to thank everybody so much for joining us today. And also, I want to invite everybody to join us next month. Next month, we're going to be digging into customer programs and promotions. So gearing up for the holiday season, making sure you've got everything in place there. If you're not registered yet, get registered. And I look forward to seeing everybody next month. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day.